Hi guys, it's me Oriana back again with another video. Today I'm going to be going over forum design because I know for a lot of people it's very troublesome to try to figure out how to do things on the forums. For me too at first, then I started poking around and have slowly taught myself it. So I figured I'd make this video to help you all learn it a little bit easier because I know for me I learn easier from videos than just written stuff. So I have a written page here that I'm going to be putting down in the description. This looks a little broken because I need to finish the YouTube video to put the YouTube video link here. But basically, to start, you just need to put your thinking cap on and just get going. And over time, it'll get easier the more you work with it. So yeah, let's get going. So the very basic to start with this, to understand how most forum formatting works is there'll be a box on the front. I'm going to call them boxes. I don't know if that's what they're called, but they look like boxes, so I'm going to be calling them boxes. So there's going to be a box on the front that starts whatever format you're trying to do, and then a slash box on the end that ends whatever format you're doing. So most forum formats follow that pattern. So if you understand that, then it gets you a step further to understanding forum formatting. Because it's better if you can understand why what I'm showing you does what it does, rather than just if I copy paste this, it's going to do that. Because if you understand why it's doing it, then you can go and do it on your own and not have to copy paste it every time. And then eventually you get the hang of it enough to be able to make your own fancy forum formats. So yeah, and then another thing, if you see a forum page that you really like but you can't figure out how they do it, you got this little handy dandy quote button up here. You click that and it'll put all of their code down here in your message here. Now just don't send it and copy paste a bit of the code you really like. So yeah, I think that's a pretty cool way to learn forum formatting if you see someone's page that you really like and you can't figure out how they have formatted it that way. So that's a handy hint. So now we'll get into it. So we got all the basic word edits that you also will have the buttons at the top here that will do your bold, italics, underline. But yeah, this is basically how it works. You have your bold, italics, underline, strike through. So that's all obvious stuff. And the colors, it's a little trickier because you have to have the color HTML code, which is this random selection of letters and numbers that goes with every color you can imagine. So I like using this website here to quickly get the color codes for the colors I want. Yes, I want to visit that link. So here we go. So you can pick any color you want and then copy paste this little thingy here and put it into your color equals box, and that will color this word that color. So and then there's big words and small words and teeny tiny words. So how this works is the biggest number you can put in one size box is 7. So, but you can stack size boxes to make it even bigger. Now, I don't know exactly how many size boxes you can stack. I've not tried it before. But like for the size equals 1, I've seen a lot of size equals 1 stacked before the hide like being listed and all. I've seen like 4 or 5 size equals 1 stack. So obviously you can stack quite a few of them. I just don't know if there's a max to how many you can stack. There probably is. There might not be. I don't know. You might be able to make gigantic letters that take up the whole page. I don't know. You'll have to, it might be something to mess around with sometime. But basically you put your size equals boxes on the front of what you want to make big or small, and then your slash size boxes on the end. You see that if you only have one, then you only need one size slash box to end it, but if you have 2, then of course you need 2 size slash boxes to end it. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. And then fonts. So fonts on Flight Rising, you can technically use any font that you have installed on your computer. But you have to keep in mind that not everybody has all of the fonts that you have. So try this, because if someone else does not have the font that you're using, then it'll just show up as like normal Times New Romans, and they won't see your fancy font. So try to stick to fonts that most people will have on their computers. So to find your fonts, you can open like Word and look through the fonts, or Notepad I think would have font options, and I'm on Mac. I have a handy little font book that I like scrolling through. I think Windows has something similar too. Just poke around through your fonts and if you're curious about what different fonts you can use. So and then down here we have an example of stacking a whole bunch of different effects together. So it's really easy. You just basically stack all the boxes of what you want together, and then put what you want it to affect in the middle, and then you put all the slash boxes after it to end it all. So yeah, behind, when you see a really fancy forum page, there's usually a whole lot more wording to it that you can't see than what you actually see, because stacking all the formatting boxes, it can be a lot behind the scenes there. And then we get down into basic word positioning. Of course, you have center, that puts it in center. Then you have right aligned, /right, and left. I don't know why you'd use this, but it's a thing, because left is the default, but it's there. I don't know. It might be a use for it. Anyway, and then here's indent, basically. And that's pretty easy. You just indent the section you want indented. And then here we go. We have a list that will automatically number it for you, which is pretty cool. So you do list equals 1, and then you do a little star box on each line that you want a new line. You can keep going. Like I could do another star box and add another line and another line, and then just add /list when you're done. And then down here, if you want a list that's not numbered, you just do normal list instead of list equals. And then you can do a lot of cool stuff with lists too. Like here I've shown an example of a heavily formatted list. So here I just used a normal bulleted list and then made it into fancy colored letters and colored numbers manually. So you can figure out all the different codes that I stacked together for that. So that's pretty cool. So you can do a lot once you understand how the formats can go together. So and then here is a basic column, this basic sample of columns. So you see we have things in columns, and then you put next call, and then what you want in the next column, and then next call again, and then what you want in the next column. You can keep going, and then you just put /columns on the end when you are done. And then you can put all sorts of things in columns. Like here I have an example of some items in columns, which is pretty cool. And then down here I have an example of items and a list in each column. So you can see items and a list in each column. So you can see I have columns here, and then I have many lists inside of each column. Yes, here's the next column. Here's where the next call is. So this whole section would be this column. Then I put next call, then the next section, and then keep going. And see how I have many lists inside each column. It's pretty cool. So it makes a really neat formatting. So now we'll get down to pictures, links, and other random things. So first, we have just your basic pictures, which are pretty easy. If you're taking pictures from a forum page that the owner doesn't mind you taking them from, so like don't steal people's art this way, it's kind of rude. So, but like, there's this handy form I put here that has all the Flight Rising assets in one place. That is a really handy tool. My Wi-Fi is laggy. Here we go. So here we go. You can see it has all different Flight Rising image assets, and it's really handy. And like if I wanted to take one of these, you right click on it and click copy image location, and then you'd come back over to where you're working on, and you'd put it in between the image box here. Or even if you want to take something that's not from that page, that the person doesn't mind you using your art from, you right click on it and click copy image location. See, for instance, that would be an Imgur link because I've used Imgur for that, and you post it in there. And then to do your own image, you want to upload it to an image upload site. I prefer Imgur. And then once it's uploaded, you right click on it and click copy image link. So if it doesn't come out looking like a link like this, if it comes out something looking really weird, then you haven't let it upload all the way. Let it finish uploading it, and then right click again, and then it'll work for you. So, and then dragon images are complicated. It's a little trickier to do dragon images. So a dragon, first you right click on your dragon. We'll right click on your dragon and click copy image link. Then you'll paste it, and it's going to look like this first. It's going to have this random bit of junk on the end here. So you need to get rid of that bit of junk for the dragon image to show up. So anything after the .png, you need to delete that, and then your dragon image will work. And then this is a basic piece of code, but I really like it because it's really handy. splitter for forums to make it look nice. Just 5 little dashes together, and it makes this really cool line across the screen. I really like that line. So that's cool. So that can be used to like split up the sections on your forum, and it looks really cool. So, and then let's get into links. So here is just basic clickable links. You put whatever link you want in between the URL boxes, and then you have a clickable link. Pretty easy. So now we want clickable images. So you make a URL equals box, and you put the code in that, and then realize there's no slash URL box right after that. We instead add in a image box. See, we add an image box, and then after that we put the slash URL box. So and then we have clickable images, which is really cool. And then down here we have clickable words. Yay, clickable words, because that's cool. Because this looks kind of tacky. This looks cooler. So you do the URL equal box again, and then just put the words you want here before you do the slash URL. So you can combine these two if you want, and put the words and a image in this section here, and then you'd have clickable words and clickable image to the same URL. So that's pretty cool. And then down here we get into items. Items are really cool because Flight Rising has a lot of them, and you can use them for decoration on your forums. You can use it if you're selling them in your forums. You can use them in dragon bios just for coolness. I don't know. Items are really cool. So basically it's just item equals an item's name. This is pretty cool. You can root through your horde for item names, or you can go through the game database. It's pretty cool. So basically any item except skins and accents work this way. Skins and accents. Skins and accents both work the same, even though it's a skin equal box. So you hover over a skin or accent, and you'll notice down in the bottom left-hand corner there's an item ID and a bolded number. You want that number, and you put it in skin equal box, and ta-da, you'll have the skin. So yes, that's pretty cool. And so that's how you do skins and accents. And then I think I got everything. Let me know if I let something out. Something else that's really cool that I use like a lot, because even though I have a pretty good knowledge of forum formatting, it takes forever to do it by hand if you're listing like a lot of dragons for sale in your hatchery. So there's this player, Dalphia Rose, who made this really cool forum sale generator. Over here, you put in the dragon ID and all your information and click generate, and it will generate this block of code. You just literally copy paste into your hatchery or wherever you're listing dragons, and it is so cool. So we'll go over here to my hatchery, and where I have dragons for sale. Excuse me, I need to actually update it because that veil sold. We'll edit. I'll show you what this looks like. So here we go. See, it makes this really cool, complicated looking block of code that you didn't have to do anything to make, which is really cool. And then you can just copy paste them in, or as you sell them, you can ta-da, get rid of them. There we go. So yeah, that's really cool. You take the the dragon ID. Generally how I do it is I just put in the dragon ID, male or female, the price. All my dragons are always XXYs most of the time. And I always add the purchase button because that's a cool, handy thing. So I only really add eyes if it's a specialty eye. I don't bother with the rest of this stuff here, but you can if you want. It's completely up to you. So yeah, it's pretty cool, really personalizable. Then over here, I haven't used this yet, but they have a section for making pair cards with forum code. So I haven't used this yet, but it looks pretty handy too if you need to make pair cards and you're not artsy. So that's an easy way to make pair cards if you're not artsy and you don't want to pay someone who is artsy to do it for you. So yeah, so I make my own pair cards. If you want me to make pair cards for you, hit me up. I do make pair cards and any forum art, pretty much, banners, etc. Hit me up. I can do that for you. So yeah, I can also make forum pages for you. If you don't want to go through all this headache your own, just hit me up. It's pretty much pay what you want. Tell me what you need in a forum page, and I'll make it for you. So yeah, I think that covered everything. Leave a like and subscribe. See you around next time!